This episode is proudly brought to you by California Cryobank. Use code LOVEISLOVE for a free level 2 subscription to their donor catalog.
Love is love on the Queer Family Podcast. Love is love.
There were just some incidents that happened where like somebody left me a note in my car when I was an adult because I was sitting in a restaurant looking not feminine. And they said, the note said 1-800-kill-yourself, fucking dyke bitch, just some really, really vitriol. Yeah, it was scary actually. And I was glad it was the middle of the day and I wasn't in an alley with these people. And it was left by these college age kids, boys, all boys. And I don't know if they were really in college or not, but they looked, college age. Yeah. And all I was doing was literally sitting there. I never even made accidental eye contact with them because I was trying hard not to because they were being obnoxious.
Welcome to the Queer Family Podcast, the show all about family, but with gay. My name is Jamie. I am your gay host. And you, my friends, are tuning into the show that celebrates, uplifts, highlights, and normalizes LGBTQIA plus families in all of our beautiful identities. And y'all, we are actually going to focus on just that today, identity. Namely, we're talking about gender identity. I got to sit down and talk with Kelly. Kelly is the author of a series of books called Ugly, Uglier, and the newest one that is just coming out, Ugliest. It's a young adult novel about a teen finding their gender identity. And we talked about why Kelly wrote the book and who Kelly hopes will read the book and the importance of books like these. And it's a really beautiful conversation. I can't wait for you to hear it. And yes, it's true. We are really focusing on identity in this episode and not queer family building, which we usually focus on. And I think that is actually a really good thing to do given the times we're living in right now. Because I've been thinking a lot about why do we as a society try to fit everyone into this binary framework of gender? And I'm talking about society as a whole. I know all of us listening here are all in the community and allies, and we all know and we all care about this. But why? Why do we have these binary boxes that have been built up around us, so to speak? And instead of, as a society, lifting up our gender queer, our non-binary, our gender non-conforming, our trans, et cetera, family, why is this still happening now, today? And, with the Olympics that just happened and the scrutiny and hatred that the boxer Imane Khalif experienced, I have been really realizing, honestly, how patriarchal these binary boxes are. We literally live in a world where feminine equals bad and masculine equals good. Unless of course, you're a female athlete who excels too much and shows too much masculinity, then, you're too masculine. We have to suppress your masculinity in the name of protecting girls, of course, because we have to protect that femininity. And when we have these rigid binary rules, we end up policing femininity and masculinity because, of course, God forbid, a boy exhibits traits considered feminine. Oh, no, we need to toughen them up. So I've been wondering a lot about that and how can I help to break the binary? Obviously, we need to read books like Kelly's. We need to listen to stories like Imane's. Then we need to share them with our communities, right? We need books like Kelly's in school libraries for our kids and for the kids who are secretly struggling with their identities and for the kids who aren't struggling so that they can gain insight and compassion and for all of us to gain a sense of normalization surrounding challenging these harmful norms. Why are we still living in this weird norm? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm getting so poetic here. Usually I'm light and funny, and I'm sorry, guys, but I've been thinking a lot about the binary and the gender norms, and they need to break. I'm done. What would our world look like if our society treasured things that are out of the binary over masculinity. Oh my goodness, what would the world look like? What if our genderqueer, our gender nonconforming, our non-binary, our trans, et cetera, family were actually revered instead of villainized? Oh, crazy idea. What would our world look like then? I personally think it would look a lot better. And so this is my part in changing the norm. Like, I want to change the norm for all of us, whether you're a L, a G, a B, a T, a Q, an I, an A, a plus, a straight or non-queer. Yeah, I got to include the non-queers too, especially the strong allies. All of us, though, literally all of us, feminine and masculine as equal. Could you imagine? And then we can have mixtures of the two. What a crazy idea. Anyway, my point is, let's normalize this shit and lift it up. That was my long way of saying that. And I have been thinking a lot about this. And the way it's been going isn't working. So it's time to change it. And so Kelly, go read Kelly's book. That's my endorsement. I just downloaded it on my Kindle and I'm going to read it on my train ride in an hour. So I'll let y'all know. But I'm sure it's amazing. And you're going to love the interview that I did with Kelly coming up. But before I roll the tape, I got an email from a listener and I didn't have an answer. So I'm posing the question to all of y'all. Rebecca listened to last week's episode with Damien about how he was a sperm donor and he also was an embryo donor and also he created his family through surrogacy and all the things. And Rebecca was asking if I knew of a place where folks could donate eggs to other queer families. Like maybe there's a website where queers can share embryos, eggs, sperm, etc., without compensation to help lessen the financial burden of making kids. This is what Rebecca wrote. She also writes, I know there are religious agencies who allow for donation only to heterosexual couples, which is such bull crap. And Rebecca's wondering if there's something similar for the queer community. And I couldn't think of something off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's something out there. So I'm posing the question to all of you. Please let me know. Write me at thequeerfamilypodcast@gmail.com or reach out on social, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn too, if you want to, at the Queer Family Podcast. Reach out and let me know so I could tell Rebecca and also tell the rest of the community here, because there should be something like that. And if it doesn't exist, somebody needs to create it. I'm too busy. I'm too tapped out, but there's an idea for y'all. Anywho, all right. I hope y'all enjoy this very wonderful episode with Kelly. I hope y'all go read that book and then go read more books like that. And then also hear all the stories of folks in the LGBTQIA++ community and share them far and wide, please. Thank you so much. And I will do my part as well. Okay, I love y'all. Thanks for tuning in week after week. Don't forget to have Patreon at the Queer Family Podcast, where you're going to get video episodes dropped a day early and some behind the scenes shenanigans of me trying to record an intro and flubbing it up and my poor editor trying to edit all the problems out. Sorry, Jerson. Love ya. Anyway, I'm going to roll this tape. I have waxed poetical enough. I'm getting off my soapbox. Let's listen to Kelly and let's all get that book. All right, Helen, Beulah, I know it's time. Nicole, let's roll that tape. Let's roll that tape, folks. Here we go.
Queer Family Podcast. Love is love.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
It is nice to have you on the Queer Family Podcast, highlighting all the wonderful things. I would love to invite you to give us your 30-second elevator pitch of who you are and why you are here talking to the listeners of the Queer Family Podcast. On your mark, get set, go.
So I'm Kelly Vincent. I grew up in Oklahoma with a lot of gender confusion, but I sort of just pushed that to the side, thinking that was just me being weird. And I started writing YA contemporary, and I care about issues, so I write a lot about social issues. But eventually I wanted to tell my own story. I felt like it was something I hadn't seen in the YA canon that's out there. So I wrote Ugly, which is largely autobiographical story about me and my gender confusion, imagining myself if I were a teenager today. And that's basically what the series is. It progresses from my character is in a small town, moves to a bigger area, and sort of goes through a lot of self-discovery. And it was actually something that I kind of went through as well because of how I was writing it as